Welcome once again to the Coach Damon Floyd Show on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey. Each week our show is brought to you by L&B Appliance owned Durkee Road. We encourage you to continue to support them as they support Bradley Central football here. We've been joined by Coach Floyd again. It's moved to our second week of the playoffs, and Coach, we've done a complete turnaround from 3-7 to 8-3. Sure, in the second round of the playoffs. It gets tougher every week for everyone, but we had a really good, for the most part, complete game Friday night at Jefferson County when we went on the road 31-20. Several big plays, and I think right off the bat, we kick off to them because we defer. We kick off, and 2 or 3 plays into it, the big guy, AJ, jumps up, tips the ball, catches himself. I was praying, hoping he'd score, but he got down to the 1 yard line to set up Braden Carroll for the score later on, and that's a good way to start a game on the road in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, definitely not going to complain about that. But I thought just really like all year, our defensive line set the tone. Zane got pressure, tipped it. AJ made a very athletic play to even catch it, and then take it to the 1, and then Braden punched it in. So I thought a lot of people played really well. When we met as a staff Sunday, we always talk about different things, but one of the things we talk about is who's player of the week, and we couldn't single out anyone. We named it team of the week, because it was really offense, defense, special teams. A lot of guys did their job. A lot of unselfish play, and really I thought the second half was, there's no doubt that was the best half of football we'd played. So
absolutely,
really happy for a lot of guys, and it was fun seeing them in the locker room and enjoying a big win.
Well, they came back and tied the score after we gave them a short field there on a fumble punt there, and they scored 7-7. We kick a field goal, take a lead. Noah Canales still doing his thing, 44 for 41, I believe, on extra points is perfect, still the record for the school. And then we took over the ball, and they took the lead there at the end of the half, 4 seconds to go, I guess it was. So we go in the dressing room 14-10, but we got the ball coming out. We were talking on the radio, and I know what your mindset was. We're going to run this ball and run the ball and run the ball and run the ball, and we ran it over 6 minutes or so to get the score, take the lead, and never trail like that. And it was just will them to win or something. It looked like, the mindset for our guys was just really solid and strong. I thought that second half. We played great.
Well, you got to run the football, to win any football game really, but especially in the playoffs. Yeah. And we knew we had to wear them down a little bit, and our offense line did that throughout the game. And we made it a point that first drive, that second half, is obviously to run the football. And the good thing for us is we were able to rotate a lot of guys in there to get carries and keep guys fresh. And so I thought our offense line obviously did a great job. I mean, they had some guys tapping out.
Yeah,
they started rotating guys. They're taking time out. So at that point, then momentum was definitely on our side, and our guys felt it, and we knew we had to punch it in there, and had to overcome some penalties again where we scored. I think it was 3 touchdowns, and 3 touchdowns got called back for us. So that was a little frustrating, but our guys stuck together, and really it kind of motivated them. I think that there's nothing going to keep us out of the end zone this drive. So it was fun to watch. Just us against the world seemed like when that happens like that. You had Keenan Phelps at running back, you had Braden at running back, you had Brady at running back. Brady Lewis and. I'm sure we had Wiley scored 2 touchdowns.
I got to mention Wiley. We're going to talk about him in a minute too. But hard running, and like you say, I think we just wore them down there. After a couple exchanges, we took the lead there, and we come back. We had a great punt too. Again, Brady Lewis had one. He nailed inside the 5. Flipped the field on them, and it said about. On defense, we had 2 picks. The one by AJ mentioned, and one by Wiley. That really, to me, was the one that hurt them in a big way, because we scored after that. But you also had a couple of defenders step up too, besides linebackers. It's Braden Carroll. He had that the great catch at receiver. We were down in our own 5-yard line or inside the 5-yard line. We're 3rd and whatever, and we're looking at punting the ball away and giving them middle of the field position. But he makes that great catch at 45. It wasn't an easy catch he made.
No, and they single covered him, which a lot of people hadn't done this year. So. If I remember correctly, I think he just looked at the sideline and said, "Let me have a chance." So, 3rd and long. There's not a whole lot of good play calls. So when they singled him up, we thought it was a good option, and obviously it was. He made some huge catches. I think down the end zone it was kind of 50-50 ball, and he takes it away from him. He made another one-handed catch. I think it was 3rd and about 20. And we only got I think 17. I think it was 4th and 3. But he jumps up, catches it one-handed. So I talked about at the beginning of the show as the team. And that's what it was. Noah Canales, we talked about him kicking the field goal. We talked about Brady Lewis kicking down to the 1. talk about all the running backs that played well. We talk about the offensive line, Braden making huge catches that really is the difference in the game. And then obviously we talk about Zane and AJ making a huge play at the beginning of the game. So, and then on top of that, Wiley sets the all-time career tackling record for Bradley Central High School. So,
and ran in 2 scores and had a pick.
Yes, yeah. I mean, played all-around great game. Probably one of the better games I'd seen by any individual when you talk about both sides of the ball. And then, I thought our secondary, except for the last possession, played really well and covered really well. We I guess we just got a little lazy there at the end because gave them a late score at the end. But like I said, overall, very good team win. We won field position, and I think that was huge, and it's going to be huge, continuing through the playoffs.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about those playoffs when we return here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, where our program is brought to you by L&B Appliance. We'll return in just a moment and take a look ahead now. Second round playoff game, unbeaten, defending state champs, Oakland Patriots. Again, another team of Patriots, and again on their field. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Coach Damon Floyd Show here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey. We talk about L&B Appliance, who promotes our programs and shows here. And we're going to talk about our next foe, will be Oakland Patriots. And Coach, we've looked at them from every way you can look at them, and I know you've looked at way more than we have. They're going to be a formidable challenge for us. They're number 1 for a reason. They're unbeaten again this year in the state. They won the state last year, won 4 of the last 5. The only one they didn't win was when they came here in 23 and beat us in semifinals, and they lost to Houston in the finals. 4 out of 5. Coach Creasy, he's won 8 overall titles, 3 at Trousdale and 5 there. Apparently, God knows what he's doing, and he's got a program just sort of feeds itself when you get to that level. And your thoughts on what have we got to do? The keys are going to be turnovers and penalties and stuff like that. No, but
we got. I mean, it's no secret. And, I'll be very honest with our team, and we've got to play a perfect game, and then that'll give us a chance.
Yeah.
They're really good. I mean, they're talented. They got a lot of Division I players that are already committed, and some of the ones that aren't committed are still Division I players that we'll get scholarships. But so every year, we talk about what is your goal and what is your expectation for the season. And I think every year, especially you just talked about it, the last 6 years, Oakland, Maryville, those teams are the standard. Well, you're going to have to beat them at some point because the ultimate goal is to win the state championship. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter if it's the second round, the fourth round. You want to see Oakland, and you want a chance, and we have a chance. So we only have to be better for one night. Mm-hmm. We don't have to be better, 365 days out of the year. We just need one night. And is it going to take it's going to be a huge challenge, but this is why you sign up to play the sport. And if you're not excited for this, then I don't know why you're playing. So They are the best. They are the standard, but we got a chance. And that's all we ask for. And we'll prepare like we do any other week. And I think our kids should be excited. At the end of the day, the only thing that can happen is you lose a ball game.
Yeah.
So we got a chance because we're going over there to play a game. And you never know what can happen. And if we can run the ball and get some first downs, if we can get some turnovers, maybe they don't play their best game. Who knows? I'm excited to find out.
Well, being in the media, this is what you live for. I mean, this is fun to go to these games and see how you compare. And you mentioned earlier, a couple of interviews back, that the fun part of your coaching for you is to prepare for the game prep. You said, I enjoy doing that part of it as much as anything, in addition to playing the game out there on a Friday night. But prepping for them, you got Tut and I think Heis's last name, but they're going to Ole Miss and Tennessee, running back and receiver. They have 2 quarterbacks that they just play in and out all the time. Is it different series they rotate on?
They run plays in, so they rotate quarterbacks every play. I'll be honest with you, when watching film, I didn't realize it was a different quarterback until, it took me a while because both of them are really talented. So talking about prepping for a team, this is as hard as it is, when you face Maryville, there's a lot of different formations and they do a lot of stuff schematically, and Oakland is right there with them, probably more actually formation-wise from a defensive standpoint. So we talk about how talented they are, but they're also very well coached. The other thing is they're very disciplined. Like, they don't have a lot of penalties. They execute at an extremely high level because they are disciplined. You talk about Coach Creasy, he's won a lot of state championships. They play with unbelievable effort. there's never a loaf on them on either side of the ball. And like I said, they're extremely disciplined. And you add that with the talent they have, and that makes for, good success. So, it is what it is. They're the best team in the state. And I think they can compete in any level. We turn on film, and just to be quite honest, it's the most talented team we've ever prepped for in my 23 years of high school coaching. So it's no secret. Well, our kids know it, we know it, but like I said before, we have a chance because there's a ball game, and we've got to go play extremely well. We can't get frustrated if we get if they tackle us for a loss. We have to be okay if we get 3 yards. We have to control the clock. We got to run the football. We're not going to go score 50 on them. They've given up 55 points in 11 games. 35 of those were to 2 teams, CPA, who had won multiple state championships in a row in Division II level. Yeah. And then Riverdale, who's another extremely talented team, scored 21. So our defense has to show up, and our defense is probably going to be put in bad situations sometimes, and we've got to bow our back. Special teams, that's another challenge. I've never seen a team return so many punts, kicks, block so many punts, take the ball away when the other team's return it for a touchdown. I've never seen so many special teams touchdowns from one team. And so extremely challenging, but hopefully we're up for it.
I was looking at their stats that Coach Creasy sent over to me. They've had 5 block kicks this year. There's what you're talking about there, and they've had 19, I think, takeaways against only 4. It's all one-sided in their favor, and it should be because that's why they're who they are. Are they a senior-laden team? You talking about all the seniors, or is it a heavy senior-laden team this year?
They've got some really, really talented seniors.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Craig Tutt which we played against him here 2 years ago. I think he's the #1 safety in the nation. But they also have some underclassmen that are really good too.
Yeah.
I forget, but there is a freshman that plays for him. I think it's the quarterback, one of the quarterbacks that rotate in. But he didn't play like a freshman, But there's no doubt this is the fastest team I have seen on film.
Yeah.
So defensively, we have got to leverage the football. They're going to make some of us miss. We've got to rally and make sure we have good pursuit, and the next guy's got to make the tackle. So they're going to make some plays against us. We just have to make sure that we play with extreme effort, and then we got to play for the guy next to us. And adversity is going to hit, and we've got to withstand it. And it's like with Maryville, we're 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, and all of a sudden they score a barrage of points.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that happened to us 2 years ago. We played Oakland here in the semis. It's 17-17 going in the fourth quarter, and then 5 minutes later they've already scored 21 points.
Yeah.
And that's the way good teams do. So we have to be able to handle that.
Well, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a fun challenge. Are we relatively healthy for this time of year? I know we got bumps and bruises, but looks like everybody's going to dress up, suit up, and play. You think?
We're hoping everybody plays. There's some question marks right now, and we'll just have to find out Friday. But whoever gets on the field, they need to give their best effort, and it's no excuse.
Yeah, it is a team sport, and we have some guys that really had some outstanding games throughout the years. There's been different players stepping up. You've got some youngsters. I think of Jeremiah Brownlow, Andrew Carroll, and those guys that are really, really coming on strong. The future looks good there, and you got some great seniors that we'll miss next year. But we got to play this game Friday night and see what we can do there.
Oh yeah, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah. We appreciate your time again today. Coach Floyd here at Brighton Central High School, our head coach for the Bears for 20 years, in his 20th season right now, and 3 years as a assistant, I guess you were there. So.
Yep, that's correct.
And we hope he continues for many more years. For so long for now, I'd like to thank Mr. Gwen Schroer and the students back here for making our shows possible each week. Until next time, see you there Friday night. Remember, it's at 8 o'clock Eastern Time kickoff. That's Central Time Zone game. We'll go live at 6:30 our time in Cleveland and kick off at 8 o'clock. Until then, God bless and go Bears.